Damn.
I'm assuming it's live streaming, so might as well get going. Yep, live. All righty, let's get this started. Live from South Florida, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Welcome to the Jones and Arocho Show, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Brought to you by the Sportscast. Today is November 5th, right? If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our Sportscast on all your channels, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes. And if you're on iTunes, please do us a favor, leave a rating and a review. It'll help us out tremendously. You can also visit us on the sportscast.net or follow us on Twitter at the Sportscast1. Please check out our app on the Sportscast in the iOS store and also follow us on YouTube. Right now, we are live on Facebook and live on YouTube. So let's get ready for a good show. How you doing today, Byron?
I'm doing great and wonderful in Delaware County, Pennsylvania.
And today's weather?
Today's weather is 70 degrees. I got a lot of stuff done today.
Oh, okay. So you had 2 weeks of 70 degrees, right?
2 weeks. I don't know what to do with myself. I took the snowblower and I pushed it back all the way in the back, pulled a lawnmower out. It was great. I can't wait.
I'm in shorts in sunny South Florida, so we're good. We got a lot of rain here, though. That's the only thing we got going on here. All right. So listen, before we get started, I wanted to give a quick shout out to one of our own down here in South Florida, a basketball star on the rise, Dylan Fry. He signed his first professional contract with a Croatian team. He's playing in the Croatian league. And here's some of the notes that they're telling us about him. Let me just read it to you real quick. I coached this guy, Byron, this young man, in AAU and USSSA basketball. When he was young, he was dedicated his whole life. Here, Dylan Fry is another American who made his debut as a professional basketball player. This weekend, and what a debut with a fantastic 30 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 stolen ball with 7 3-pointers from 5 attempts, and a great approach as if this was his 100th game and not his first appearance. The young player, and they pronounce the name of Croatia, I don't know, is just doing outstanding. And then the last one was Byron. He's 22, just graduated, signed. And the last update we got from him, he just scored his first double-double. He had 18 points and 10 assists.
Nice. Very nice.
That's pretty nice. And his name is Dylan Fry, Frye. YouTube him. He was also known as White Chocolate.
White Chocolate.
Yeah. He played at Bowling Green. Just a phenomenal kid, great family. So shout out to my young man, Dylan Fry. I had the honor of coaching him for a little while there. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Did you teach him how to dunk?
I'm sorry?
Did you teach him how to dunk?
To dunk?
Yes. Did you teach him?
No.
No.
I can't teach him how to dunk. He could dunk, though. I didn't teach him how to dunk. I taught him how to, we just balanced our games. The kid was a superstar since 4th grade. Today we're going to talk about, we had ref rules by Rivera. He got tied up with another commitment, so he may join us later. We're not sure if he's going to join us later or not, but we're going to continue going. We're going to talk about the NFL to a start, Giants and the Bucks, Dallas and Philly, AFC East in general. I had some things about the youngest head coaches that they made some comments on. Obviously, we're going to come back to Tulsa and that win this weekend. And then we're going to be opening up for live calls. Welcome to join us at any time you want. So let's get it started here. So what did you think? I mean, obviously, we want to go to the Giants. I don't know if I want to go to Giants first. Let's go to Giants first, as usual. Okay, Byron, Giants versus Bucks. What were you thinking?
Well, I'm going to jump back on the Danny Dimes.
Oh, man.
I'm coming back. I'm coming home. Daddy is coming home.
Flip-flopper and election.
Flip it all over the place. The problem I see with him, he tries too hard. instead of giving up on the play, throw it up in the bleachers, throw it to the sidelines. He's trying to make a play. That's what happened with those 2 interceptions that he threw. He's just trying too hard. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, I think he can be a franchise quarterback because yes, because Peyton Manning was a turnover machine. Eli Manning was definitely a turnover machine. Brett Favre, turnover machine. So hopefully, he can work the kinks out as far as just take the ball and chuck it into the stands instead of trying so hard.
I think a lot of quarterbacks have some challenges with that, but franchise quarterback, I don't know yet. Here's some of his statistics that I looked up. He obviously they're 1-7. He's got a 61, close to 62% completion rate. He's got 7 TDs versus over 9 interceptions. And so over what 8 games, he's thrown 1,600. So he's averaging what, like 200 something a game.
What does he have as far as he has Butterfinger, Evan Ingram, or whatever his name is.
Right.
I don't know why he doesn't throw the ball to Golden Tate. He's a proven pro. You saw his wife got on there, it was blasting everybody. As far as him not getting the ball, which he should. Sterling Sharp, he's going to do his thing, but they're just, they just don't have any playmakers. He just tries too hard. Chuck it, get rid of it.
Well, he should have done that at the end because he got rid of it too late, and he got rid of it. Not only did he get rid of it too late, he threw it behind the receiver.
Yep.
So that could have been another pick. That would have been a pick 6, like a 100-yard return. So he has to get rid of that ball earlier then, and he didn't, and he should have threw it outside. So, guys, you go for a touchdown, you got to throw it outside. I'm a deep back. If you throw it short, I'm coming up. I'm not worried about that, but I'm getting the ball. My eyes are going to get really big. I mean,
But he should have threw it, like you said, toward the pylon. That's where that ball is supposed to go.
That's what I meant outside. Yeah.
Yes, toward the pylon. That's where it's supposed to go. But
earlier too. He had, even if he did it with the throw he had, would have been okay. Right. If he would have released it earlier. He gave the guy too much time to catch up.
What about the DB? Do you think that was pass interference?
At that one?
Yes.
That play?
Yep.
I didn't see enough that what I would call pass interference. Huh? You did?
Come on! It looked like what game was that? When the Saints and the Rams when they got
that's not even close.
That guy plowed all over top. He ran into him. He didn't turn him because usually
you're talking about on the play for the win
conversion. 2-point conversion,
yeah. Right.
I thought it was pass interference. Even though he didn't throw the ball where he was supposed to throw it, because Winfield, when he ran toward him, he was running, but he never turned, he didn't turn around and look to see where the ball was. And he just ran and he sort of stuck his arms out and the ball hit him in the back of the arm. Usually they call that if the guy doesn't turn around.
Right, but I think that if the ball hits it, what I remember, Benny was on here, what I remember is if it hits the defender's hand, it's immediately as if he's, going for the ball, defending the ball. So as long as if he's touching the ball before he touches the receiver, he's fine.
Well, he banged into him. He was there before the ball got there. And the ball hit him on the back of the arm. His back of his head was looking that way. He wasn't even thinking about looking for the ball. They should have called that, but they didn't.
Well, the one thing I am happy for once, the defense played a good game.
For the most part. Well, you figure it was against Tom Brady, and they held Gronk. What do you have, like a couple, 2 or 3 passes to him. Evans, they pretty much held him in check, even though he did get the one, the touchdown. But they held their own. I was impressed with the offensive line. They were a little bit better, the Giants, this week with the rookie playing. Lemieux, I think his name is the left guard next to the other train wreck, Andrew Thomas. They ran the ball pretty good. They should have gave the ball to Goldman a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if the Bucs just took them lightly, or here's our call-in number. So if you're listening now, you may want to call in. It's 646-558-8656, 646-558-8656. They'll just ask you for an access number, 880-6981. 3140, 880-6981, 3140 pound. Type in your name and we'd love to hear from you. Byron, I want to. This is what I feel right now about the Giants.
Really?
That's you and me. That's me. That's to me. That's the Giants right now. I mean, I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to say. The division is terrible, but that's how I feel the Giants are. I don't understand anything. I just don't understand what they're doing. And Danny Dimes has it. He missed some throws that he needs to make.
Yes, to a couple, it was like 2 or 3 to Slayton, deep, and he just. Hey, at least Ingram caught the one deep pass, the same one that they would have won the Philadelphia game, but he caught that one this time.
Yeah. I mean, it's a combination of pieces, but there's throws he's got to learn how to make. And the other thing is, obviously I'm biased because I was a Giant fan and I didn't like what went down with Eli, but you think that he's having pressure from the fact that there's so many other rookies that are playing outstanding football.
But the other ones that are playing well, like Kyler Murray, same class, he has more people around him. He's got Fitzgerald, Hopkins. They have talent around them. He has him.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, do you think that adds to it because he's doing well, Justin Herbert's doing well. You just moved to it. We'll talk about that in a few seconds. I don't know if that pressure starts getting to him, but I feel comfortable with Jason Garrett. He's a good builder of quarterbacks. We're definitely missing Saquon. But again, I'm big on defense, right? I don't think that if we don't play defense well, see those little guys, they're going to have to put them in. So I got this one particularly for you because you guys jumped the bow. Right? My Giants are killing me. And I had a hard time this weekend because, I always want the Giants to win, but I really didn't want Brady to lose. So it was kind of a combination. Sweet, bitter.
They're getting close. They really are getting close. They look at the losses. All of them are close, except for the 49ers when they got blown out. But all the other games that they played, they have been close.
Yeah,
they're there. It's just they just need to learn how to finish a game. That's the problem.
Well, let's hope that they start doing something. I mean, they still got a shot. The sad part is they got a shot. And for me, I'm happy if they win, right? And I'm not happy if anyone comes out of that conference going to the playoffs. But, hey, if we could get to the playoffs, that's the rules. We didn't make them up. It's good experience, at least for the team, right? And if they get there, even with a lousy record, I think that'll motivate Saquon Barkley even more. Not that he needs it, but I'd be excited to come back.
I don't know. To go to the playoffs and get embarrassed in the play, it's nice to go. I wouldn't want to go there and get blown out the first game too, because
Well, you just said they've been playing pretty close with who they're playing.
They're playing pretty close, but then when you go to play in the playoffs, that's a whole different beast. That's a whole different. That's up here. The game gets faster.
Well, whoever from the NFC goes is going to have a problem. So it's not. That's like it matters, right? It's just a matter of. It really doesn't matter. So at least if you get there, you get there, right? But then we have the problem with you fake tankers, right? Yeah, you all want to tank for what you think you want. All righty. So Tua start, right? What did you think about Tua start?
93 yards. That's all you can say. 93. He didn't, he managed the game. He didn't have any catastrophic mistakes, and he played
the first turnover.
It could have been a lot worse. He could be Danny Dimes and throw 3 interceptions over there, fumble the ball. He didn't put things in harm's way, and he played fine for his first game. Maybe they might open up the book, a little bit more for him, the next game. But he did well. 93 yards, and he didn't blow anything. The defense helped him well, special teams, and that's what all 3 parts. The win.
Well, he got hit. He fumbled the ball.
I think
against the DN that we've been talking. Arnold, was it Arnold? Yeah.
Aaron Donald. Well, he gets
Aaron Donald. Not Aaron Donald. He's the quarterback. Who's the defensive end that came in for the Rams?
Oh, Aaron Donald, my MVP pick for the NFL.
The DE?
No, he's a tackle.
Oh yeah, he got him good. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really know. We'll see what happens. Like you said, they were mentioning a lot of things you were bringing up that they definitely had to see something in practice that made them make that decision to make that move. They brought up some good points. You know, like I said, Fitzpatrick. I don't think they treated him the way they should have. But and I've always mentioned how Fitzpatrick has led teams, you know, like Buffalo to do well. But he's also streaky. We've also seen him not do well.
Very.
So they were making a point. Maybe Flores, like I said, what we think is a dumb idea becomes a smart idea because he figures, hey, a great comment they mentioned. They know the ceiling of where Fitzpatrick can go. Right? They just don't know where Tua's is. No. Right? They're gonna find out. But at least that hit shows that he didn't have any issues as it relates to getting hit.
Well, at least, yeah, he did find out he's not fragile. You know, I was just like, oh, first guy that falls on him, he's going to fall apart. But he made it.
Yeah. So we'll see. The Dolphins are doing pretty well. So let me ask you a question. So what do you think about Dallas and Philly situation? Dallas got destroyed. Wait, hold on. I got something for you, for your buddy. Hopefully, is he calling in? Go ahead. Tell me. What do you think about that? Was just terrible.
They're horrible. I don't know what's wrong with Dallas. They had, what was the quarterback? The Nucci or whatever the guy is. He went from, there you go.
That's the only thing good about the Dallas Cowboys.
That's are they even cheering? They are cheering. Aren't they cheering?
Who they're cheering, yeah. That was probably like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
But he they put the kid, I think he was a Pitt kid. He went to Pitt first, and he ended up at James Madison, the quarterback. Then they turned around and they signed some guy off the practice squad from the Cleveland Browns, like Garrett Garrison, I think the kid's name, quarterback.
Quarterback from Cleveland Browns practice squad?
I think that's where he got him from. And then Cooper Rush, he came back because he was with the Giants, I think, and they cut him in the preseason.
So you're only allowed 5 guys on the practice squad, right?
I don't know. I think it's more than that.
No, I thought it was less. I was just wondering how. So yeah, because you're not going to you can't carry a position, so they have to go out to find out who's carrying a quarterback. That's interesting on the practice squad. It's interesting the decision making that they would have to make on that. But Carson Wentz is
awful.
That's amazing, man. Now I don't feel so bad about having Nick Foles statue in front of Philadelphia. He's they've spoken about him. He's done great, but I just don't see the guy the way they build him up so much.
With him, you got to give him a little break. Not much. The offensive line is decimated like that, kind of like Dallas. No offensive line. All of them are hurt. Every last one of them are hurt. The running back, Miles Sanders, their starting running back, he hasn't been playing, and he's awful too.
Yeah, they I was going to mention something about if Donovan McNabb was playing like him, they would have tore him apart.
They'd have chased him all the way wherever he lived in Jersey. They'd have followed him all the way home. The Philly fans, if Donovan doing the same thing.
Yeah, they always gave Reed. I like Donovan. Donovan's taking there the whole time. So we got a caller in here. Hold on a second. Asking him to unmute. How you doing? Welcome to the Jones and Arocho show. This is Victor and Byron. Who do we have the pleasure?
What's going on, guys? It's Justin from the.
What's up, Justin? Byron, show what you got.
Oh, look at that there! Roll Tide, roll Tide.
Yes, sir. First of all, I want to acknowledge that. That's what I'm talking about. I like seeing that.
Well, he said he wore it for you.
Yeah, I had to.
I appreciate that.
I go back to Alabama back in the day. Johnny Musso, running back.
Hey, man, we had a great stable of running backs back in his day. It wasn't just him. It was Major Ogilvy, Tony Nathan, and, man, they just kept on putting them in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it I jumped on uh, Justin's show. Justin. Tell us a little bit about your show before we get into this a little bit deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on the Riley and Constant show with Steve Brown. Marvin Constant is my co-host. He's a former All-SEC linebacker that played at Alabama from '99 through 2002 while I was there. And then Steve Brown, for many of you who follow the comic circuit, he's one of the best all-time comedians, and we have a lot of fun on there. Our main focus is Alabama football, but we do talk about SEC. We do talk about NFL. We recap previous Alabama games. We also have a different Alabama legend or legends come on each week, and we focus on specific position groups. So it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, I had fun calling in the other day. Yeah, we were talking about how Alabama. We're always thinking about running backs and their great defense, and then Charles Woodson was like picking his top 5 receivers, and like 3 of the 5 came from Alabama. And you're not even thinking of receivers when you're talking about Alabama, but at least you're not realizing it until they put all those receivers up there.
Well, it's amazing how the dynamic of Alabama has changed here recently. Like you said, Victor, if you played Alabama, the first thing you think about is either a good offensive lineman, stud running back or running backs, and then just pick any position in the defense. And never would anyone have ever thought wide receiver until Saban completely flipped the script. First brought in Lane Kiffin and started that movement, and then brought in some other guys, and then now with Steve Sarkisian, this is a completely different Alabama squad than what we're accustomed to growing up.
Interesting. Hey, Byron, how's the SEC changed? I mean, we're flipping over to college a little bit. Let's stay to here. I want to ask you before Justin goes, how has the SEC changed since you played when you were playing at Tulsa?
Back in the day, everybody ran the ball. It was either wishbone, one of those just run. They just run the ball and just pound it at you. Because we played OU, and what they do, when they got Marcus Dupree, they went from the wishbone offense to the eye, and they just ran up and down the field. I played Ernest Anderson at OSU, Oklahoma State. He was the running back there. Thurman Thomas came from there. So all these guys, they just lined up and just ran the ball. That was it.
Well, you got some history. It was SEC, but they were not the powerhouse they are today.
No, it was like the Pac-8 back then, the Big 8 back then, and pretty much those were the two. Big Ten
and the Big East.
The Big East, basketball.
No, when Miami was winning.
We have Rutgers, man. Don't even.
Oh, well, the Scarlet Knights. They kept the GPA up.
That's messed up. So we were talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, to be honest with you, yes, those were some great conferences during that day, but the SEC was quite frankly overlooked. They had some solid teams. Alabama was still pretty good in the 70s and 80s. In Tennessee at that time was a very good squad. Florida was good. And Auburn was good as well, especially when they had, Bo Jackson. We just were overlooked, because of teams like you mentioned, like Miami, and then the Ohio States and some of the other squads you mentioned.
Yeah, when I first moved down to Florida, I was with a company out of Atlanta, where it's a corporate headquarters. So I was staying in a Marriott right by the office, and there was just a massive party going on, and it was because the SEC championship was that day, and I seen people from all different ages, super Southern accents, and just hooping it and hollering it all up. It was I think the Auburn crowd was there at that hotel. It was amazing. I mean, people from all ages. It wasn't just a bunch of young people. What do you call it? Tailgating. It was it was more mature alumni really partying it up. It was amazing.
We definitely have one of the most passionate fan bases I've any in the country for sure.
Yeah. So you see what I got on now. So let's talk a little bit go back to the pros, right? So you think about the NFC East and Byron, where are you at now? You Philadelphia? There's only 4 teams you can pick. Hey, by the way, I have never known a guy. I didn't think this loyal Giant fan, Justin, would be
I'm a
flip-flopping
flip-flop,
like a
right? Flip-flop.
He's like 30 hats. He's got Alabama on now.
That's right. Flip-flop. I'm gonna be like everybody else.
So who you picking
the
now?
NFC, man, I think whoever is the best of the worst is going to finish that, and the fans are not going to be the ones that benefit from it. But I want to touch on Dallas, man. I think they're a train wreck mainly because of Jerry Jones. And I mentioned this to you before, man. He reminds me a lot of Al Davis when he's with the Raiders and just destroying that organization and running it into the ground. And I believe that's the same thing replicating itself here in modern-day Dallas. And he just needs to be run out of town, or Dallas will never remotely resemble anything it once was.
Yeah, I mean,
now
the team is so worse. Go ahead, Byron.
He's not going anywhere. He's going to be like Al Davis. Al Davis kept coming to work every day with the walker and everything, probably with oxygen and a nurse. He's never going to give up control until he dies, which is, I'm not wishing death on the guy, but he's just not going to give it up.
It's also, but not only that, I think the team is so expensive. I mean, the team's like worth almost close to $2 billion. I mean, you've really got to have not only just major cast like the Bombers of the world, but you're going to have to do. You better know what you're doing going into that.
I think they're spending way too much money for what they have. I mean, for one thing, man, they do have some good talent at positions, and they really should be ashamed of themselves for not doing more than what they're doing. Yeah, I understand losing Dak is huge, man, but you still got Amari Cooper out there who had 2 touches this past week. How do you allow that to happen? How do you not get the ball in the hands of arguably your best player on offense?
Byron was talking about that with the Giants.
You have a bad quarter. What is that kid? Danucci or whatever that kid's name is playing with Dallas, the quarterback.
Yeah,
there was a reason why he Madison. There's a reason why he played at James Madison.
Oh, that's not right. Sorry to my James Madison.
I love James Madison. I've been there a couple times.
Oh man, yeah, I think, so. Do you think Jerry's move on Dak's contract is panning out good for him, good for Dak? I mean, he pays Ezekiel Elliott major dollars, and he's having a terrible season.
And that's where I have a problem. To be honest with you, man, I've never been on the Ezekiel Elliott bus. I've never been on that. Really? And I think that his money needs to be put towards Dak. Dak, you can rely on. Dak is somebody that can take that organization to the next level. I don't see it with Zeke. I think he's way too self-centered, and he's more about himself than he is about the team, and he's all about getting that payday. And whereas Dak is the exact opposite.
Byron's got a smile on his face. Go ahead, Byron.
Where can we start with that one? Most of Zeke, problem is he doesn't have offensive line. The one that they originally had when he first got there. He was average at least 4 or 5 yards to carry when he had the Tyron Smith and the Zach Martin and the center that retired. He was much better when he had that full line. But now since he has this makeshift line that wherever they got him from, he's not running with the same authority, and he's become a fumbler too.
Yeah, the fumbling is in his control, right? But at the end of the day, if they're going to pay him all that money, they got to know the line that's in front of them. I mean, that's just a stupid move. Then I'm going to pay my running back all this money, but I'm not going to have anybody to block for him.
Yeah, but you got to remember, when they built that team, they started with the offensive line first. Look at them; they're all. Smith, number 1 pick. Zach Martin, number 1 pick. The center, I think, was a number 1 pick. Lyle Powell, the other guy, was a first or second round. They were all high picks, those guys. Every last one of them, that 5 or 6 guys they had on the line. And they started with that, and they got Zeke, then Dak, and they built it the right way. But now those guys they're hurt and they're falling apart. The center retired. It's just a mess right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, hey, listen, I'm not a Dallas fan. I know I have friends that are Dallas fans. I'm not bashing on them, but Sorry, I guess I am bashing on them. Call in to defend them. But the biggest problem with Dallas is they get too much. They're like Notre Dame. Like they get all the press in the world for no reason,
Right.
at all. And it's just terrible. And they're obviously. Now I forgot the owner's name. He's losing a ton of money with that stadium. Now he's got a lot of money, but
they're all losing money because of with coronavirus. Every last one of them are losing millions and millions of dollars because nobody's in the stands, nobody's buying concessions, nobody's buying anything.
Yeah, well, they have 100. They said 100,000 people.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Which it just blew my mind when you see some of these guys getting these gigantic contracts. I'm like, do you not realize you have nobody in the stands? How are you going to pay for that contract with COVID going on? And we don't know how long it's going to go on.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, the funny part is I think they should be at least giving some of that money back to the people that would have been working when they were there, because they're the ones that make it all happen for the fans and everything.
A question for the Alabama.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Since Alabama has those world famous alumni, are those guys sneaking into the luxury boxes over there down there at that stadium?
I can neither confirm or deny.
What is Byron's phrase? Deny, deflect. What'd you say?
Deny, deny, deny. Deflect.
Deflect. Deny, deflect.
Alabama, they got the people down there. They got all that. They got more money probably than Jerry Jones over there. And you figure you got all these big time Alabama alumni. Oh, I'm going to this guy. Somehow, some way, I think they're sneaking in the building and they're in those luxury boxes. You just can't see that they're in there.
They're probably they're probably big donors too. Speaking about Alabama, I went to the first XFL game in Birmingham, the Birmingham Bolts. You were probably too good, Justin. Yeah, so I have an XFL.
No, I remember them. They're
and it was played at the old Alabama Stadium, right? And there's a statue of their Bryant.
Yeah, at Legion Field.
So I was so excited to go, Byron. And actually I was excited because it was the XFL, but I was brought there by a business associate, and we had a great time. But it's the old stadium, and you're not realizing those kind of stadiums. I mean, we're walking through. I'm like, geez, this is super old, right? Oh, so then we sat in these seats that were metal seats, but they had a back, right? They had a back. The rest of them were benches, and those metal seats were spray painted gold. Those seats were running at like $1 million a seat back in George and Brian's day. Man. And it's just a metal seat with bars around it, painted gold. That's
it, man. It's about the product on the field.
It was hilarious.
People just wanted to be in the stadium.
Alabama people don't joke around, man. This was an XFL game, and Byron, they ran out of beer. It was like $40 a case, and they ran out of beer.
A lot of beer.
They were selling it by the case, and they ran out. And this is an XFL game. It's not like, no offense, but it's an XFL game. You ran out of drinks. So anyhow, I just want to bring that up. We were in Birmingham, and I went to the Legion Field, I guess you had to call it. Well, Dallas, the NFC East, Philly. Who's your pick for to win it, Byron?
The Perth Amboy Panthers.
Oh, I got something for you. That's our high school team, Justin. Who's that, baby?
There we go. The Panthers. There we go.
That's right. That's the high school we graduated from. He's graduated ahead of me.
Speaking of the NFC East, I think you were touching a little bit on this earlier about how much longer are they going to put up with their boy at quarterback? Because to be honest with you, I don't see it. I honestly feel like they need to be getting Jalen Hurts on the field a little bit more than what they're doing.
Who's that?
Jalen Hurts, another Alabama quarterback.
Get him on the field.
Jalen Hurts. The only thing with him is that he could run the ball like, in the SEC and, other teams they play, against those defenses. But the NFL is a little bit different beast where, where he running like that.
I agree, but I'm not seeing it from Wentz right now. And you just kind of got to ask the question, okay, well, how much longer are they going to deal with his, and how when is Jalen going to get his shot? I'm not buying Wentz right now.
They're paying Wentz over $100 million, so he's not going anywhere for a while.
Well, that's their fault.
Yeah, you're right. They're right. But they figured he was the franchise quarterback, and I'm surprised, around here, because I live in Philadelphia area, that they haven't run him out of the stadium yet. Because, like, what I was talking with Victor earlier, Donovan McNabb would have got blown up like anybody else got blown up. He would have got.
Dude, just to put this in perspective, the man was booed on draft day when the Eagles drafted him.
Yep. That's crazy. That is crazy. So hey, everybody's got a shot in the NFC East. So
absolutely. Now, honestly, I feel like the Eagles, though, as ugly as they're playing, will somehow find their way in though and win that division.
All right. Let's switch over to AFC East because we have a lot of Dolphin and let me switch this up. Dolphin and Jet friends that we know. So we were talking about two on the Alabama show. We talked about a little bit earlier. So what do you think, Byron? Do you think Buffalo's going to take it? You think Miami's got a shot? They look pretty good.
Buffalo's going to take it. Buffalo. I'm going to go with them. They got a good quarterback. He's playing well. Josh Allen. They got a good running game. The defense is pretty good. So I think they're going to hold on. Here we go. We get the Dolphins.
I'm not a fan. I like to see them do well. I want to see Tua do well. It's interesting year when Belichick is doing really bad, and there's a chance for these other two teams to make it. We'll see what happens. But I like Miami's defense.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're not bad at all.
I think Miami's doing very well. They're doing a lot better than they have. They just don't have all the tools quite yet. I think they're going to finish strong, but the Bills, it's their division to lose, and it takes something catastrophic for them to blow that.
Because the Patriots are done. They stick a fork in him. He's going. They're going to keep losing and losing. They might end up with a top 10 pick. Who knows? They're not playing well at all. Cam is. I don't know what happened to Cam.
I don't know what happened.
I just don't think his style of play. I just don't think his style of play really fits Belichick's offensive system. The marriage just didn't seem right, and I don't think Belichick knows how to use him correctly because he still runs that old school style of offense.
Pretty much, it looks like the single wing.
Yeah. Well, they made a good point. One, when he fumbled, there's two things I want to see what you guys think. Right. One, when he fumbled the ball, he was running to his left, and he's right-handed. One. Number two is we've always been taught since young age in football, always have the ball closest to the sideline. So if you're running, the ball's in your right hand and you're running down the left sideline, you need to switch that ball over. So at least if you lose it, so forth, it goes out of bounds. If you're running down the right sideline, make sure the ball's in your right hand, left sideline, left hand. Well, he had the ball in his right hand running to the left. And if you see how they poked it out, if that ball was in his left hand, the guy never would have had it.
Yep.
So the ball was more towards more defenders than it was towards the sideline, right? And so that's that. And the third point I want to make up, then let you guys go, is I heard one of the analysis, and I thought it was a good point, is, that was a mistake on Belichick's part. Why didn't he run it to the right? He's a right-handed quarterback. Run to your right. Quarterbacks are not used to switching the ball, right? They're going to keep it in their strong.
Right.
So, Belichick, why didn't you run the ball to your right? And, he doesn't get a mark for that. Byron?
Yeah, but as much as Cam Newton runs the ball, he should know better. He should know, when he head to, switch arms. He runs a lot. It's not that he's
right.
or does it, a little bit. He runs a lot. And he should know better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess. I
have to completely agree with that. I mean, Cam, that's his wheelhouse. He has always been able to run the ball well. Especially you saw what he did in college and what he's been able to do throughout the years when he was healthy. I mean, he knows what to do. He has that in his mind ingrained of how he's supposed to handle the ball, and that was just an oversight on his part, and it cost him dearly.
Yep.
Well, I was rooting for him to do well. I'm not a Patriot. I like the Patriot organization, and I like the AFC's opened up. But I wanted Cam to do well. And I think I agree with you.
I don't want the Patriots to do well. I'm a Ravens guy.
You're a Ravens guy. I think that that Belichick, I don't know what they were thinking then, how he could fit into that offense. The other thing is, my understanding, unless he's slimmed down the playbook, but the Patriots playbook is like double the size of most NFL teams' playbooks. How is someone going to come in and pick that up that quickly? And then they didn't even put in the backup quarterbacks. What's his name? Stidham, right?
Yeah, Jarrett Stidham.
Yeah.
He went down to third string, but how can he had to slim down that playbook? There's no way Cam could pick up that playbook at the time frame they picked him up.
Yeah, but with him, you got to play to his strengths. What is his strengths?
Running to the right.
Run it, throw that flat pass that he throw, crossing patterns. He can throw them well. Deep, he's not a great deep passer at all. But, little simple stuff. If they had the Wes Welkers and those kind of receivers, he should be fine with those kind of guys running a crossing pattern. But for some reason, he's either throwing it into the ground or he's airmailing it, 900 feet the other way. Is he hurt? Or what's going on with him for him to miss these guys that are wide open like that?
Edelman's hurt.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good question, Byron. Is Cam healthy? You gotta ask that question because something just isn't right. Or he could just be checking out, man. Maybe he's just kind of done. I don't know. I'm having a hard time reading Cam's body language here the past couple of years. I just don't feel like he's the same motivated and driven player he once was.
Yeah, I could see that. It doesn't seem to have the same fire. You would think this year he would have, but this could be a career-ending season for Cam.
But you figure he's only got a 1 year contract or whatever he has with them, and Belichick might, all right, goodbye.
And nobody was really going after him.
No, not really.
You know what I mean? So nobody was really going after him. We'll see what happens. And anyway, Byron, you want to make a prediction? Are the Jets going to win a game of the season?
Over. They're not going to win a game. They suck. They are. Adam Gase, the head coach, he should have been fired before the season even started. The general manager, they should take and drop him off the New Jersey Turnpike someplace. Hey, blow it all up and start over again.
That is,
the next time that I want to go get a big job, I'm taking Adam Gase with me because somehow this guy keeps convincing people to give him head coaching positions. So he must know how to conduct an incredible interview.
Yeah, something's going on there because there's so many better coaches out there. We were talking Bieniemy. There's a ton of great coaches.
Oh, absolutely.
Byron Leftwich down there, Tampa Bay. So there guys there, but for some Adam Gase, he's horrible.
Yeah, I think Bieniemy is going to get a head coaching position this year. I believe Byron Leftwich is going to get a position this year. You're talking about. You never know with Byron, man. Once he found out Brady's coming, I would stay.
I would stay too.
Yeah, because now he's going to be part of that organization, and they got a lot of awesome stuff going on there. And one thing I did want to discuss, because I am let me put this up. You know how I feel about this guy, which kind of bothered me when they don't mention it. This is where I'm going.
Oh, geez, man.
All righty. So they were talking about the youngest head coaches. And it seems like that's where the NFL is heading towards with coaches like McVay. Who else was the other young coach? Whether it was Judge. Who else was a young coach out there?
Arizona.
Arizona. Who's at San Francisco?
What's that? Shanahan.
Shanahan. He's not as young, but they're talking all about, the young coaches. That's how, the NFL is switching to and so forth. Any comments on that before I get into my piece? I probably gave you my card first already.
I think that the NFL is just adapting and it's changing, and you're bringing in fresher ideas to the table, and a lot of the old coaching styles and coaching ways are just kind of, I guess, fading off into the sunset, or teams are able to have more success against them. Whereas these new age guys are able to bring something fresh and, I guess, better to the table, and are able to breathe life into teams again.
Well, I guess unless you're Andy Reid.
Yeah, well, yeah, you get the exceptions to the rule for sure.
Harbaugh is a good. Well, one of my favorite coaches is Mike Tomlin, and that's what they didn't even bring him up. And I'm like, do you guys remember he was 34 years old when he took the position?
I thought he was 32.
Tomlin was, I think, 34. Here are the young coaches, right? And I just picked up ones that we would know. There's a few others, but you got McVay with the Rams, right? He hasn't won a Super Bowl. You got Tomlin that's won a Super Bowl and has been in the playoffs, I think, every year. He's just phenomenal, in my opinion. And look what he's done with the team last year, and look what he's doing with the team this year. Gruden was with the Raiders, but he won a Super Bowl with Tampa. Cowher was with the Steelers, so another young guy, and they went to another young guy. So you can see how good the Steelers organization is. Baltimore had Shula, but he won it with the Dolphins. And then my boy John Madden with the Raiders, and he won a Super Bowl with the Raiders. So only 3 of the young coaches won a Super Bowl with the team they were hired for. And I just think Mike Tomlin, they talk about him, but I would like when they mention about the young coaches that he was also a very young coach, and he's adapted ever since.
He's gotten better and better. And one of his best coaching years, even though the record didn't show it, was this past season, man. I mean, he still had them, contending for a playoff spot, and they were losing everybody to injury. I mean, they're down to their third string quarterback, and he still had them playing competitive. That's just amazing to me. And especially with all the stuff that they've been dealing with, all the adversity they faced, and it's just amazing. But I think he's a phenomenal coach, and I think he has another Super Bowl in the future.
He may have one this year. They're playing pretty good football. They're playing really good football. I just like him. I like seeing those coaches been there for a long time, and he was young, and he's with the Steelers just as a great organization. Anyways, they haven't had a lot of coaches in their history.
Well, like 3 in the last 50 years, probably.
The only ones I know is
Chuck
Noll, Cowher,
and Tomlin.
Bill Cowher. I love Bill Cowher.
I know. Exactly. But again, I just was like, if they're going to mention McVay and these young coaches, I think they should also mention the guys that were young and successful. So this is not something new, right? It may be new now, but these guys were young when they started, right? They got their shot.
I just think there's greater numbers now. There's more younger guys coaching. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. I still think Tomlin is young, man.
Yeah, no, he is. But, just in comparison to the other guys.
Right.
But it's also you just said something, Justin. You said it was should have had some. I lost my mind. But what do you think about Tomlin there, Mr. Byron?
I love Mike Tomlin. He seemed like a coach that I would want to play for. He seems like he's a player, players guy.
Players coach.
Unless you have the knucklehead Antonio Brown, which is I don't know how that he blew that up. But he just seemed like somebody you would really want to play for, and give him 100% every week. He just seems like that kind of guy.
I love the fact that no matter how much drama was there, him and Ben Roethlisberger never have a problem. Never have a problem.
Can't have a problem with the quarterback. If you got a problem with the quarterback,
some of them do, but he doesn't. You never hear out the whole time he's been there any challenges with him. You hear it with the other players, right? That left.
Yeah, but you didn't hear that Antonio Brown was a train wreck the whole while he was there.
Nope.
They kept that on the down low with him until all of a sudden it just exploded.
Well, I guess success will do that to you, right? He had so much success there. I guess there was a point where he felt he had more power than he had.
But then why are you going to go to two other teams and pretty much do the same thing again?
Well, think about it though. He walked away from a contract of $30 million. All he needed was his signature. When he was with the Raiders, as soon as he signed, he got $30 million guaranteed up front.
Yeah, and then what he wanted,
he didn't sign.
He wanted to beat up the general manager. He probably wanted to choke Chuck. Come on, really? You're going to give me $30 million. You want me to get in a fight with him? I'm not fighting anybody. I'm going to be an angel for $30 million.
Yeah, just for a signature.
I'm just astounded that he's been given another shot. To be honest with you, I honestly thought that he was done just because of all his antics. But I just hope he's not going to blow it this time. One, I don't want to hear about it, and two, I mean, my gosh, this is your absolute last chance. Yeah. If you blow it now, you better call it Vince McMahon and go to the XFL.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a good ending to this story because he, if anything, he owes it at least to Brady. I mean, Brady's done everything to help him on and off the field.
Well, didn't they say he's living in his house, his pool house?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
There's no way I'd have Antonio Brown in my pool house with my model wife in there. No way. No.
Ooh, it sounds like a sitcom that we need to be watching.
Well, you got to think about it. Brady's pool house is probably 7,000 square feet.
I wouldn't care if it was 10,000. I wouldn't care if it's 10,000 square feet. There's no way I'm letting that guy in my house.
Do you guys remember the story about Holyfield? His house was so big that his mistress was in one of the wings of his own house.
Yeah, that's kind of dumb.
He had his mistress in the wing of his house, right? So that's how big these guys' houses are. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens there with Antonio Brown. He's coming up this week, right? So, yep. All right. So we got Tulsa in the house, right? So Myron, you're going to take over here. That was a scary win.
No, that was a good win. The officials, they did a great job with that call, with that no call as far as with the fumble. He didn't fumble the ball. I'm just telling you, he didn't fumble. It was a great win, 34-30. Deny,
deflect.
Absolutely. And then I think they got like a extra fourth down call or wherever they got. And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it, I was like, even when I played, we never got anything like that. It just never bounced our way like that. We went what, 10-1, and we didn't even go to a bowl game then.
Oh man, well, I was getting a little nervous. East Carolina played them tough. I mean, they're not even ranked.
I think they were 1-3 coming in there. We played them when I was back in the day. That was one of the people on our schedule.
Is that your conference?
Back then they were independent. We were in the Missouri Valley then, which is no longer around for football. But they played well, for the most part. The quarterback, for Tulsa, pretty good, good kid. Zach, I think he came from Baylor. I think he was a Baylor transfer or something like that. But yes, the referees definitely messed that game up, and then they had to apologize. That they basically blew the game for them.
We lost. I think Justin hung up, left us there. So Justin, I want to say thank you again, and we're going to mention his shows on Tuesdays.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. You like so many teams, man. You just jump who the guys winning.
All over the place.
That is crazy. So, anything else about Tulsa? You said you guys got a really recruited defensive back. That's going to be a good NFL player.
Linebacker's pretty good. Like one of them's an All-American candidate this year. It'd probably be like the third All-American ever at the University of Tulsa. Things are looking better because he was on the chopping block. Pretty much. Philip Montgomery, the head coach, he was. If they didn't do well this year, he might have been on his way out the door. But they're playing well. So we'll get in the bowl game, the Tidy Bowl.
Do you go back there?
No, I ain't been back there just in case. I don't know if I got any warrants or baby mamas or anything. So, nah.
Well, they're gonna find you now.
Nah. So, I'm next year. I'm trying to go out there. To go see a game out there too. when all this coronavirus stuff is over, I'll probably go out there then.
Oh, all right, awesome. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's because it's got to be crazy. All righty. So, well, we want to see who's Tulsa playing this week.
Oh, forgot.
Forgot who Tulsa's playing. All right, let's look them up.
I know they moved the Cincinnati game to the end of the season.
The Packers are playing San Francisco now. Yeah, the Packers play tonight, but I mean, San Francisco is just buried with injuries.
Tulsa plays Navy.
That's funny. It's just had a Navy and a Notre Dame shot up.
The Navy is 7th, and they got SMU ranked high next week.
Let's see what you got here. Let's make a couple picks before we start wrapping this up. All right, you got the Giants versus the 2-5 WFT.
27-14 New York Giants.
Giants? Are you picking the Giants to win? Wow, they went from over to
Yep.
2 wins. All right, well, I'm always going to pick the Giants. Let's see who's a good game. Oh, this is interesting. Bears and Titans.
Where are they playing?
It looks like they're playing at Tennessee.
Tennessee.
You got Tennessee. All right, let's see. I'm only to pick good games. No, the Chiefs, not a worry. Texans, not a worry. Ravens, Colts.
Ravens.
Ooh, Seahawks, Bills.
Ooh. Where are they playing?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
All right, let's get something that's good here. Ooh. All right, I'm going to take this one. Steelers, 7-0, 2-6 Cowboys.
Ooh, man.
That's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad. And where are they playing? Pittsburgh?
They played at Cowboys at Dallas.
They're going to get blown out in Jerry World.
Oh, my God. Jerry Jones. I can't believe it. I went to Johnson Jones. The Dolphins and Cardinals would be a good game. 4-3 plus versus 5-2 playing in Arizona.
Cardinals.
And now you got the Saints again and the Buccaneers, but this time it's in Tampa. Remember, they lost to New Orleans in New Orleans.
They're going to return the favor.
Yeah, and Antonio Brown's playing as well. So that's going to be a night game. And then this is a game. This is the Tidy Bowl. Monday night must be dying. The Patriots versus the Jets.
Ooh.
Their record combined is 2-13. Combined.
Sure. It's going to be 3-0 Patriots.
3-0. Yeah, well, we'll see. Interesting now. Now's the time when the teams will start playing. So we'll start picking up who we think is going to happen next week. Remember, we also have on the Sportscast, we have the Ty Turner Show every Monday at 10 p.m. So listen on the Sportscast and on YouTube. And then we have my man, Justin, who was just on the phone. So there's Riley and Constant. He is every Tuesday at 7 p.m. He takes call-ins. We want to talk a lot about Alabama, KC, and he's got Constant is a fantastic ex-NFL, Alabama player, and he's got Steve Brown, a funny comedian, and knows a lot about sports in Alabama. So check out their shows. One thing I want to bring up again, and as we talk about every week, we always speak about the Gary Sinise Foundation, and I don't know, Byron, you want to talk about a little bit this week? I think
here we go. The freedom and security are precious gifts that we as Americans should never take for granted. We must do all we can to extend our hand in times of need to those who willingly sacrifice each day to provide the freedom and security. While we can never do enough to show gratitude to our nation's defenders, we can always do a little bit more. Gary Sinise Foundation. Please donate to the Gary Sinise Foundation.
.org. Yeah, it's Gary Sinise. Let me see. Yeah, GarySiniseFoundation.org. And that helps just first responders as well, right? It's not just military, it's first responders. It's excellent organization. We'll probably be posting it up as well. So we always want to mention trying to give back to the people that give us the opportunity to do the things that we do. And again, Byron, hope the weather stays good out there. I'm enjoying South Florida. We have a lot going on coming up next week, so we'll see what takes place. We got the trade deadline coming up too. See who's
Passed already Tuesday.
Already passed?
Yeah, it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
4:00.
Nothing
No
major. Nothing major happened.
Nothing.
Nobody. I think everybody's happy with what they got right now.
The Giants should have traded their whole team, but yeah, that's
Think about it. Antonio Brown, that wasn't even a trade. They just pick him up. All righty. So listen, just remember again, the Jones and Arocho show every Thursday at 8 p.m. Call us in, talk, defend your team, see if you can handle. Byron will give it to you. I'll give it to you. Let's see if you got some good sports sense to handle. Two Jersey boys fighting back. All righty. You can follow us on Twitter at thesportscast1 and visit us on our website at thesportscast.net. Join us next Thursday at 8 p.m. for more special guests, and we're going to have more exciting pieces as we continue with our show. Just want to say thank you. Everybody stay safe. Byron, as always, it's been a pleasure, and we will talk soon.
Yep. Be safe.
Everybody be safe. Good night. God bless.
Good night.